Hi everyone. This is going to be a video about the character creation for Anyworld Tabletop Roleplaying System. We're going to make sci-fi characters for a setting that we've played in before. So, who would like to go first?
Well, I'll go first if you want.
Yeah.
I've already got a pretty good idea of what I'm going to do anyway, so
Cool.
maybe we'll start with that.
So, I mean, we're going to go through it. It's 7 steps. So, in fact, actually, we could just do each step for everybody, and then before we move on to step 2.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
All right. So, step 1 is going to be your attributes. You can choose one of the options, one of the preset options. You have average, balanced, mixed, or specialist. Unless anybody would prefer to randomly roll for their attributes.
No, I'm just going to take one of the set values.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll do the same.
I think I will randomly roll.
That was one.
Just to make it a bit different.
Great. Alright, so I mean, you have your 6 attributes. You can assign these values in whichever order you wish. So average is a 5, 4 4s and a 3. Balanced is 4s across the board. Mixed would be 2 5s, 2 4s, 2 3s. A specialist is a 6, 3 4s and 2 3s. Obviously, if you're rolling your stats, let's have a look.
Oh, that's pretty good. 2 5s and 6.
Yeah, so I mean, the 5s are 5s, the 6s are 6s. A 1 or a 2 result gives you a 3 in a stat, and a 3 or a 4 result gives you a 4 in a stat.
Which has actually worked out pretty well anyway, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Well, I've got a pretty good idea of what I'm going to play. I'm going to just do like a sort of gunslinger guy. So,
Cool.
Like kind of from like the old cyberpunk era, but like almost a Kira sort of thing. So he's going to have. I'm going to take the specialist one.
All right.
And put like high in precision. Balance everything else out in agility, mind, and spirit. So 4's in them, and then strength and toughness is a 3.
Got you.
Because I have plans.
Yep.
Cool. So we can move on to step 2, yeah?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So this is a newer step, more recently added. I'm not sure if any of the previous playtests covered this, but you have an essence now. Effectively, think of this as kind of like a statement that's kind of the crux of your character, as a guide, a descriptor in the character's role. Like, for instance, virtuous superhero, enigmatic spy, grizzled wastelander, something like that. What it does is kind of like just sums up your character, right? But if it applies to a specific action that you're doing, you can, once per session, you can use your essence to gain advantage to the check. So I mean, you could fill that one out after you've gone through character creation, to be honest, if you want. And these steps can be done in any order, really.
Yeah, I might have to think about that one. I think I've got an idea, but...
Cool. So next would be the floor. Again, this one is created by the player. So you need to start with at least one floor, and it could be anything you like. It could be something like, examples being fear of the dark, night terrors, clumsy, noisy, something like that. As long as it kind of the way that it works as well is much like your essence, it'll give you a disadvantage to a check. However, it's up to the player. It's up to you when you use that. When you use your flaw, the GM never triggers it. It's up to the player.
Right.
So when you're about to make a check, if you want to apply a negative to it from your flaw, you'll roll with disadvantage. However, you'll gain an XP point for doing so.
Right. So I was thinking about using Vindictive for mine. So that would be, I know, say if like I was supposed to save somebody, but they'd wronged us earlier on,
Yeah.
I would have to I could apply that and then get a disadvantage for extra experience.
Yes, exactly. I should also point out you can take more than one flaw. However, it's only the first flaw that you use in a session that gives you the XP bonus. Any additional flaws that you activate just give you an edge. And you have a maximum amount of edge that you can hold between sessions. So you would,
Cool.
you can go above it during the session, but at the end of the session you'll lose it if you haven't used it.
And what's edge?
Edge allows you to re-roll a check, or it allows you to kind of like pay off disadvantage to something or apply advantage to something. Also, if you are a character that is not taking abilities, you'll start with higher edge.
Yeah, I think I'm going without abilities. I don't think I'm going to be superhuman.
Yeah, I'm not taking abilities either.
I probably should. I think with the sort of with the species I was playing.
Cool.
Yeah, I'll be taking abilities for the Psy Blade
Alright,
build.
so the next step then, I guess, would be the traits. So if you've got two guys who are taking abilities, you can get 2 random traits of any chosen type. And characters without abilities, you get the same 2 random abilities of any chosen type, but then you can also pick any trait that you want to start the game with without rolling or anything.
Right.
And
All right, okay.
the traits are divided into mental, social, speed, brawn, combat, and shooting.
But you get to pick which one it is.
Yeah,
and then
you get to
roll
pick.
on the table.
You can pick the type. Yeah, so if you picked, say, mental, you would then roll 2d6 on the mental traits, and then that's what trait you get. Should also point out that there is options to not randomly roll any of this and just point by everything. But we're not playing that version of the game right now.
Well, I think I'm gonna choose a speed trait for mine because I want my guy to be able, because he's got pretty low toughness. I kind of see him as a bit almost cat-like. So
Right.
I want him to be able to like dodge out of the way of stuff. So I'm gonna take dodge.
Okay.
He's free one, and then probably a shooting and a social trait.
Cool.
I'll roll 4.
So what does anybody else know what they want?
Yeah, so my character's pretty much, I mean, because I'm going to play something like an old prize fighter sort of character. So he's pretty much like obsessively trying to keep his strength up and trying to be as hard hitting as he can, but he's kind of declining a bit in toughness and speed with as he's kind of wearing out a bit, even if he's not actually aging.
Yeah.
So I was probably going to go down the combat traits because he's doubling down on it.
Cool.
So
you're
just
thinking maybe
roll
like
on that.
two combat traits, yeah? Or a
Yeah,
combat and a brawn?
We'll say combat and a brawn. Yeah.
Cool.
So for the combat.
Yeah, I was thinking about a mix when there's two traits that I want from two different lists. So I don't know which one I should roll to hope I get the right one. Because I want lead by example, but I also want retaliation.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah. Lead by example's easier because it's 9.
So what was that? 3
Okay.
dual wield.
So, yep.
Right, I'm gonna roll twice on social,
Okay.
and I'm gonna take retaliation.
So I take it I rolled twice either way because I was taking the next because I was
Yeah.
I shall just do that.
So that would be distraction and leadership for you, Connor.
Yeah.
Bodyguard for brawn.
Hmm.
Not quite what I had in mind, but
There
we'll
you
roll
go.
with it.
There is also a kind of free reroll of anything that you've rolled during character creation. So you could reroll any one thing. That includes like if you rolled for your stats or anything, you can do a free reroll.
Okay. I think I might do that now. In which case,
Yeah, I cannot want to re-roll distraction. Can I choose to roll on a different table, or do I just have to re-roll the roll I made?
No, you could. So just remove the distraction roll, and then you could do. You could roll on another table if you want. It makes
it's
no
just like-
difference. It's the same.
You just get your choice of dice roll back.
Yeah,
You just
effectively.
dice back.
Okay, I'm gonna roll on combat then instead.
Okay.
okay, I just got pain tolerance for mine.
Well, that actually makes sense with what you were talking about for the idea for your guy, with the kind
Yeah.
of prize fighter thing and the drug taking and things like that.
Yep.
Alright, so I got guard, which is actually gonna work out pretty well.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Get an extra evasion when you're fighting multiple enemies. Mark, did you want to? You've got some to roll, haven't you?
2, haven't I?
Yeah.
Cool. Well, I'm building kind of a glass cannon type of thing. Precision and speed. So I'm gonna go for speed.
Okay.
So it's 2d6.
Yeah.
Let's see what I get. 7.
Rush. You can roll agility instead of mind for combat order. That's pretty good.
4 on 5. I think I'll roll on that table again. Actually, not using me free reroll, but
Although, did you say you wanted to go for a gunslinger type thing? Maybe shooting would be a good idea.
no, I'm playing the side blade, mate.
Oh yes, that's right.
So, oh well. Rabat. When rolling agility to leap or balance, you gain advantage.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
So, that's kind of all the basic traits selected or rolled for everybody.
Tell you what. Sorry.
I had a special. You get a special trait as well if you've not taken abilities. So was it Connor? You're not taking abilities, or are you taking abilities?
Yeah,
Roll on special traits as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mark, did you say you were going to re-roll one?
I'm gonna roll one. Yeah. I'm gonna keep Acrobat and get rid of Rush.
Okay.
Sneaky. Ah, well.
Acrobat and sneaky.
Yep.
Sneaky, sneaky.
So you've gone for like a side-blade assassin-y type character.
Yeah. Right, I'll take them in then.
Alright, so the two special traits that you guys...
I got
you got seasoned,
yeah, so me.
extra edge.
Yeah.
What did you get, Connor?
Yeah, I got seasoned as well.
There you go. Alright, so with gear, your option, you can start with a medium melee or ranged weapon and medium armor and one consumable. Or you can randomly roll for all of this, which if you do, you get to start with 2 consumables. It's your call.
I'll just go for the medium range weapon.
Yep. Medium armor.
Yeah, medium armor. Yeah, just slow you down. Medium armor. Is it?
What was that?
Does it slow you down at all, or is it just?
No, it just gives you 3 armor points.
Sweet. Well, ideally, I want him to have like a magnum, it's like a sci-fi super magnum.
Cool.
If you roll randomly, do you get to roll randomly on both the melee and ranged weapons table?
No, just one or the other.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna go for the medium ranged as well.
Cool.
And the medium armor.
Now, obviously, this is all just done to give you some stuff to start the game with. There are, like I say, ways of creating a character with far more detail and selecting which item you want and which trait you want specifically, if that's the type of game you want to play. I find the random rolling of stuff kind of creates interesting characters that you maybe didn't think about.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I will be boring as well and go for medium melee and medium armor.
Okay. Now, with you going for the side blade, does that mean you're going to go for the weapon ability, Mark?
Yes, weapon ability, 10 points. Got 20 points to spend.
That's right.
On the type of character we've got. Another 10 to spend, and I'm thinking about going for some upgrades here. And the upgrade I'm going to go for, well, I'm going to go for 2 upgrades actually. I'm going to go for gain a weapon quality. This upgrade can be taken multiple times. I'm only going to take it once. And I'm going to take upgrade attacks from this weapon are assigned a damage type. Choose when this upgrade is taken.
Cool.
And I'm going to go for toxic for that one.
Oh, I like that idea.
So it gets in the neurotoxins. So there's 18 points, 2 left over. I'm not sure if there's any type of other abilities that cost 2 points.
No, but you could take some modifiers.
Where's the modifier list? Right at the bottom, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, modifiers. Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, you could give your ability a prerequisite. You could make it removable, things like that. If the ability is gained via, technology or a device or something like that. You could also take weaknesses to specific damage types, which gives you points back that you can spend on more abilities.
I think I'm quite happy with that.
Okay, cool.
We can always, in the play, if I've changed anything, I'll just amend it then. Just say that's what I've amended.
Yeah.
But for the time being, I'm happy. So I've took, like I say, toxic is the upgrade, and for the weapon quality, there's 3 tables. Well, it's 2 tables, isn't there?
That's right, yeah. So there's the general weapons qualities, which can affect melee or ranged weapons. And then there's also the melee weapon specific qualities.
Now, because it's an ability and it's an upgrade, do you get to choose? Or do you have to roll?
No, it specifically says, I think, that you can choose a weapon quality.
Ooh, that's pretty good. So I'm going to go off general weapons quality, which is the first gear quality.
Mm-hmm.
And as I say, they're pretty good.
I'll tell you what would be quite good to go with the toxic idea. What if you went for lasting? Enemies hit by the weapon need to make a toughness check on their next turn.
That's perfect. That fits perfect, yeah. Perfect, mate.
So it's just like a lasting, kind of like poison in the system type of thing.
Does sorry.
Yep.
Does every item get a quality, or is it just because of the weapon thing?
Yeah, that's a specific thing to, because he took weapon ability. So it's an ability where you have a weapon that is like intrinsic to your character that you can't really lose or anything. It's but these qualities can be applied to normal items to create like essentially treasure or loot. You know, so say you had a medium melee weapon with balanced, you know, it's like allows you to reroll all of your ones on your attack, something like that. That's how you kind of can create kind of like treasure and loot on the fly.
Oh.
That concept actually goes into some of the rest of the game as well, with enemy types and things like that. You kind of have like your basic enemy types, and then there are traits that you can apply to those basic enemies to kind of change them into something more specific.
Yeah.
We just have
Dave?
just Dave's abilities to do, yeah?
Yep. So how does that work again?
Well, you have 20 points to spend on any of the abilities. Is there anything jumping out at you?
Morph looks interesting. I suspect that also involves looking at another table.
Yeah. Morph is very interesting. So, you know, I was just explaining there, the enemies have traits that you could apply to them to change them into stuff that's more specific. They're called monstrous traits, right?
Yep.
Morph allows you to kind of take on monstrous traits, and monstrous traits would be things that you could class as like maybe mutation or what have you, because stuff like you know, like wings and tail and tusks and claws and horns and breath attacks and things like that. So morph would allow you to effectively turn one of those traits on and off at will. So you could sprout wings and fly, or you could you know, if you were kind of like a Wolverine style character, you could grow claws, and then the claws could, like at will, could go away. It's not like they're always on, if you know what I mean. Like you've always got massive claws hanging off your hands.
Yeah. Yeah, I think actually that seems quite interesting. So, so the upgrade options, is that separate to that, or so it's passive is what you get for cost 12?
You get the passive and the active. So the passive's always on. The active typically has a trigger. For instance, this one is once per session. So it allows you to choose a second monstrous trait. So your passive allows you to have one, and the active for once per session allows you to take on a second one. For the duration of a combat or scene. Then the upgrades cost 4 points each, and then you can apply those to the main power.
Yeah. Okay.
It's only passive as well. So if you don't want to have the active ability, it would only cost you 6 points to have the passive one.
Exactly, yeah. So you can take limitations to the abilities to kind of reduce the costs. So, like Stu just said there, the only passive one reduces the cost by 6. But obviously you only get the passive ability, you don't get the active.
But you can then still upgrade them, can't you?
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think I'll go for the 12-point version of that. To go for. I think for one of them, Primal Fury looks
That's a good one.
quite suited. Yeah. So the species I'm going for, how likely is it to have had mutation or modifications to add things like wings or something like that?
Well, pretty uncommon, but that works really well for the idea for the session, because obviously I want you all to be criminals, so it would be quite against the bioengineered culture for you to have modified your body in such a way, like, because obviously the bioengineered are perfect, but your character maybe is modified his body in such a way where they have deemed it almost criminal what you've done to yourself. It's like destroying a piece of art.
Yeah. Okay. Think I'm gonna go for that. I'll go for wings and Primal Fury. I'm gonna go down the angel / demon route.
I like that. That's really cool. Yeah. So the prize fighter thing. So did you say that? Are you thinking that he like fought in tournaments and things? So he's like this kind of demon.
Yeah. So
champion.
Yeah. So a little bit like the way Angel is in X-Men Apocalypse. So basically, he's fighting in cages, but he's fighting in a cage, but he's obviously basically making ends meet a little bit, that sort of thing. But yeah, so he's basically modified himself to stay relevant as long as he can, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Cool.
I like that. That's really cool.
Okay.
And I think with that we're done with character creation. So I think we'll stop that there, and we'll try and get the playthrough uploaded next.
Excellent.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks for watching.
Yep.